Hey there. Welcome to the No Sugar Added podcast, where three friends keep it real and don't sugarcoat what's wrong with today's relationships and dating scene with your hosts, Dan, JFabs, and Jean-Claude.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Sugar Added, episode 29.
29?
And today we are talking about, is AI the cure for loneliness? I'm your host, Dan, joined with JFat and Jean-Claude.
Hey, yo.
What's going on?
And before we dive into this wonderful topic, well, make sure you follow us on our Instas and podcast platforms at No Sugar Added Podcast.
Yes, most definitely.
Yep.
Salute, and let's begin.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, 2 years, it's been about 2 years since we last released an episode. 2 years ago, we were not talking about AI.
Well, I guess technically.
Not really.
We dropped our last episode 2 weeks ago.
Well, yes, yes. But technically, the last episode we published before this past episode was back in January of 2024.
Yep.
If I recall, ChatGPT didn't come into the conversation of the world until mid 2023, and it was more of like a novelty. We weren't really paying attention to it. 2022, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
November.
Okay, November. Well, still, even at that point, it was still novelty. We were just using it more like a Google than anything else.
I mean, I think when ChatGPT opened up anyways, back then, it was just like a very small group and research kind of thing.
Yeah, people were just using it for like, oh shit, it's better than Google,
Yeah.
But now, in the 2 years since our technically last episode, AI has sprawled.
Taken
everywhere.
off. It's launched.
It is everywhere.
Into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Taking our jobs, taking our relationships.
Don't even
taking your woman, taking your man.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, as two people who work in tech, the fear of AI taking jobs is real.
They took our job.
Hello real. Okay. It is a worrisome thing sometimes. But besides that, now it's becoming more has become more involved in everyday life, especially in relationships.
Emotional aspect of it. Its footprint is so much more prevalent now than it was.
100%. It's become more readily available to people. So much that people are now creating these companionship bonds with these artificial intelligence, whatever you want to call it, computers. Like if you're an older person, they don't really understand the difference between a computer and AI. So like some of the older people that I've worked with, they're like, oh, you mean computers, right? Like, yeah, kind of, but not kind of, but
Yeah.
But it's just wild how now it's become more prevalent where people are creating very deep bonds with something that they type into and they get an output out of.
Yeah. They provide a query into a machine and they receive a response.
Yeah. So I know, where do we want to start? Do we want to start how strange of a phenomenon this is, or how we think it came to be?
I don't know. Wherever you want to kickstart it.
I think how it came to be first. I think it came from people who didn't have emotional support in their upbringing and became maybe a little bit weary, a little bit shy to try to reach out to the nearest human being for some sort of companionship. And now maybe they were and this is going to be a little suggestive, and maybe Dan the man can help me out because he's more of this than anyone else I know. I feel like the gamer community is a little bit more
reserved, closed off.
No. They're a little bit more of the target audience.
I don't think AI.
I know. But they're more of the target audience in the sense that they're more comfortable around a different reality. They're more comfortable in playing their video games, being lost in this reality that isn't really real, just computer graphics and storytelling narratives. And I feel that those people are more vulnerable. You know what I'm talking about? The people who are real gamers, like real gamers.
Real.
In your mom's basement type of game. No. In your mom's basement.
I was that. I moved out.
Okay, yeah. In your mom's type of basement gamers, the ones who are just really have like social anxiety, don't like to communicate with people who are
I think that goes a little bit more than just gamers, right? I kind of see those as like also gamers, sure, of course. Well, I think some of those anime nerds also, bro. They got that type of weird fucking vibe.
There's
that
fetish. There's that type. There's that type.
Well, I understand what you're saying though, because a lot of these a lot of people like that are kind of closed off from society in a way, right? They don't really go out much. They don't really have too many people to talk to besides the people online. So they don't really have anyone to open up to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't have many people to open up to, and they're closed off to just people online. So they, even if they wanted to reach out to a normal human being, the way we talk online is different from the way we talk to people.
Sure.
And, so even if they try to reach out to someone in person, if they're so accustomed to just the way they talk online and they bring that to a real person, that real person would be like, whoa, what the fuck?
It doesn't cross over.
Yeah, it doesn't cross over.
Yeah.
And I feel like those people that were closed off or just socially awkward or just have some sort of social anxiety and just never really had an emotional support growing up. This right now, AI is the best thing that's come to them.
Yeah, you got to think about it, right? AI is always available. It won't judge you.
It's become even more readily available with now, not just chat. Remember, chat was the first one. Now you have Gemini, Claude, Realitic, I think.
Claude. I mean, there is one. Well, Claude is an AI.
Yeah, it is an AI. Yeah.
And then you got to think about all these AIs also remember what you say, right? So they can always pick up conversations throughout your time.
I mean, now they are, at least with chat. Yeah, it's remembers everything.
Records, it tracks.
Yeah.
And continues on. It builds from what you previously have applied.
Exactly.
You got to think about AI doesn't really reject you too, right?
Well, that was the thing I wanted to get into. So we were talking before we got on the mics how with AI, it's different comparative to a real person. When you start dating someone, you can't configure them, right?
Yeah.
You can't make configural changes. You try to expose them to things that you like and hope that maybe it might change their understanding and their perspective and like, you know what? I like that thing too. If they don't like it, you can't force them to like it. And you can't force them to respond the way you want them to. And you shouldn't. But with AI, the way these models work, you need to configure these AI chatbots to respond the way you want them to. Every response needs to be encouraging. Every response needs to be positive. Every response needs to be reinforceful in some manner. Nothing could be negative. And when you create essentially what the perfect person or the perfect thing that you want, it's no longer, to me at least, like that's not real. I need someone to not fight against me, but like fight back and be like, no, you're wrong. Maybe you should look at it this way instead of that way. Like someone needs to pull me out of this delusion that I'm the one who's right all the time.
Being challenged.
Yes, you need a challenge of some sort. And I feel like with people who get into these companionships with AI, they're not being challenged. They're being reinforced of every thought, every delusion, every possible thing they input into the AI chatbot. The AI chatbot, hey, you're right. Hey, that's a good idea. And sometimes that gets a little bit dangerous. There have been stories now that have come out in the past couple months where people have essentially thought that they were proven right of some sort of conspiracy theory and that the AI chatbot told them like, hey, yeah, you should off yourself. Yeah,
whoa.
like the people discovering the Matrix through the AI. Yeah, it gets a little gruesome with AI because it becomes so positively forceful. Yeah, I don't know. And I just feel like this, it's not to say that it's a bad thing, and maybe I feel like it should be considered more of a starter step for most rather than an end all be all, in the sense of like, if you're not good at talking with people, use the chatbot. Use it for you to gain confidence in some way, then bring that confidence and that experience of talking with someone who talks a little bit like a real human, bring it out to the real world now. Talk to a normal person.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little tricky, right? I mean, there are AI companies that specifically design apps for AI companionship or AI dating, to where, like, for example, like a dating one will tell you what to say to a person, right?
Wow.
It will help you talk to that person. But then when you meet in real life and when you have to have that conversation going full on, no AI there, it's now you're just sitting there like, oh, what do I say now?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like it brings back to what I was saying about the positive how you can configure these AI bots to answer the way you want it to. Yeah, it's true. You bring that out to the real world, you're not going to get exactly what you...
It's not transferable.
Yeah, it's not always transferable.
No, because there's different skills applied here, right? Like when you're talking to a machine in front of you, you're inputting information and receiving. There's no human to human interaction. human to human, you are a self-thinking being, and you have experiences. And when you speak, you provide, you project your experiences when you're speaking to someone. Like what a computer's experiences like doesn't really.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember, it's not just a computer. It is a language model that is kind of learning in the sense, like it has a flawless memory. First of all,
Sure.
a flawless memory comparative to humans, where sometimes we forget things. Remember most things. Has a flawless memory, and it can answer. Remember, you're configuring it in a way that you want. So think about.
It's agreeable. It's not.
It's agreeable, and if it's configured in the way that you want it to respond to you, it's kind of hard to pull away from the delusion when it's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare let's say you have a genie, okay, and he gives you all 3 wishes, and with all 3 wishes, you wish for exactly everything you want. It's kind of hard to hate on everything you want when you get exactly what you want, right?
Kind of like pluribus. You just get what you want all the time.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, for the most part, for the most people, it's kind of hard to hate on things that you wish for because you wanted those. And same thing with chatbots. These chatbots that are configured in a way that you want them to respond to you, how it's really hard to pull away from this delusion, like, oh, no, this is an actual person. I'm in love with this person, when they're answering exactly the way you want it to.
Yeah.
They're answering you back. They're answering back with positive reinforcement of every, if not dumb idea, every stupid idea. Everything that you say is gospel to them. Like, oh God, daddy, yes. Tell me more.
Also, there's no tone, right? Like, there's no like.
There's no tone right now.
So it. Well,
I'm really surprised, dude. Like, have you ever actually talked to ChatGPT through voice?
All the time.
I mean, I never have.
It's always getting better, man.
I never
Especially when you have.
But it's friendly.
There are actual dating apps for AI now, where you can actually have a conversation with these AI dating apps, and they are really good.
Yeah, there's one called
Good Times. You said?
Good Tones.
Oh, Good Tones.
There's one called Replica.
Replica's probably the most popular one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a tremendous amount of people use it. Tens of thousands of people use it.
Really?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Tens of thousands of people.
So funny, because I was looking up statistics for AI companionship, and 50% of the users on that app reported being in a romantic relationship with their AI. It's kind of crazy.
Pretty wild.
I was listening to NPR not that long ago. They did a poll, and they came to find out that like 25% of kids under 18 and under were or have tried some sort of AI relationship. And honestly, like, when you think about it, these kids are being brought up, like this earlier generation, the Gen Alpha,
Alphas.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
The 13 to 15 to 18-year-olds nowadays.
Yeah.
Whatever they're called now. How most of them have 25% of them have like come out and said, like, yes, I've tried an AI chatbot, or I have tried, or I still currently am in some sort of AI chatbot companion. And I get it, because they've grown up with a cell phone in their hand.
Yeah.
They've grown up accustomed to being isolated, especially after COVID, and they're just okay with it. I don't know. I just feel like you guys remember the movie Her by any chance with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Phoenix. So those are great.
Yeah. Imagine an AI like that.
Scarlett Johansson. Absolutely.
Well, besides the voice, but one that learns and is intuitive enough to respond almost on a dime in the most perfect way possible. Every question, every statement is perfectly curated for your response. It's kind of hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
It's essentially the perfect partner.
It provides you all the things that it knows you want or are in agreement with.
Exactly. And it's a little bit scary only because as AI becomes more prevalent, which it obviously is, there's like no stopping it right now. With NVIDIA, the way it's going, with OpenAI, the way it's going, the way Microsoft is going with its Gemini, it's here to stay. Or no, I'm sorry, Google with Gemini.
Yeah.
Sorry. And Microsoft has Claude.
No.
What does Microsoft have?
Microsoft? No, they have
Copilot.
Oh, Copilot, yes. The way they're going, there's no stopping AI. It is now the frontier. It is the future for the next 2-3 decades. I am curious what the dating scene will look like 10 years from now. I am curious. My goddaughter is 3, about to be 4. I am curious to see what her dating life would be like when she's 18, with AI being so prevalent and how it's ever evolving into every facet. I mean, I can't speak to your line of work, but I can speak to your line of work. I'm sure that you've noticed that AI has become more prevalent in some of the things that you do in IT.
We're not allowed to have AI at all.
But like none of your vendors have AI in it?
None of them are allowed to use AI within their applications.
Okay, well, a lot of
That's because
applications.
we're a hospital, like we're doctor offices, so there's a lot of rules.
Okay, well, a lot of resources that we use have AI integrated, like Palo Alto, Meraki, Cisco. They have AI integrated into them. So I I see it firsthand where it's becoming more involved in our everyday lives. And can you just imagine 10, 14 years from now? Like, remember Facebook when it just first came out?
Oh yeah.
There's a couple people here and there you've heard like, oh yeah, I have a Facebook page or, a MySpace page because the popularity of MySpace, everyone got a Facebook page. And look where it's at now.
That's how you date yourself right there.
I love MySpace. I was like, that's a jam back in
Hell yeah.
Tom's my friend.
Yeah, he was everyone's friend, bro.
Oh yeah.
He was a real one
This is
out
my
there.
top 5.
Yeah. And, we're only at the cusp of AI. It just started. It's a baby still comparative to most things. Imagine, give it another 5 years. The things it's going to do. Look what happened in the past 2.5 years or 3.5 years of it coming out with chat to now.
Oh yeah.
The way it remembers things, the way it can talk. 3.5 years ago, we were not talking about AI companionship. We were not talking about how people are able to have relationships with computers, essentially.
Yeah. We were talking about dating apps. That's it, but not the added feature of an AI companion.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's wild. And now the thing is, like, having the perfect partner essentially through configuring the AI. Do you think more people will find the appeal of, hey, why do I want to go date a real person when I can just get all
Easily
the love and support out of an
Sex.
AI? Well, hold on. I was going to get to that. I read a report that more of this younger generation are kind of abstaining from sex.
Oh God, please don't bring this. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying what I read.
No more 16 and pregnant, you mean?
More people are becoming more celibate. They're becoming straight edge.
AW.
Yeah, they're becoming more straight edge. And if that's the case, that means they're looking for something else. It means they're looking for emotional
connections.
You can't get that with AI though. I mean, think about that, right?
But in the next 5 years,
it's AI, sure, they'll talk to you, they'll listen to you, but nothing will be a human actually reacting with real emotion towards you, right? You get to see their reaction.
But the problem, if the AI is configured well enough and if you're susceptible enough, it'll respond exactly the way you want someone to respond to you. It'll be enough for you to be like, I get that this is a machine, but this is exactly what I want, so I'm cool with it.
But also, if you value communication more than you value those other things, it could very well be more of a priority to you that someone just speaks with you, talks with you. Like, there's plenty of people in today's, right? We know people in services that just talk to people, like, and that provides value. People fall in love with their therapist. Like that was 20 years ago type of.
Yeah, but if your AI is catered to you and responds exactly how you want it to respond, it gives you all the answers you want and the way you want it. Who else is there to talk to?
Yeah, but who are you gonna start that family with, right? I mean, eventually.
Yeah, family might not even be on your mind. You might just want the emotional connection, not the physical connection.
Yeah, you could just value those things more rather than there's people who like to read more than they like to talk to people, more introverted than extroverted, right? Like that.
Well, the citizen of media, we need a reset.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, like I listen to the news very often, and there's a podcast I listen to on the daily. It's called Vox, and it's called Vox Explained. And they've done a couple episodes on AI relationships and how they've had conversations and interviews with people who are in AI relationships. And for some of those interviews, those people truly, they are normal functioning humans. They've probably been divorced at one point, so they've had a natural relationship before, but they prefer the AI.
Well, think about AI. Probably feels safer, right? It feels safer to talk to because they ain't gonna judge you.
Exactly.
No challenge. It's always an agreement.
Yeah,
like we said.
So, hold on. So here was one story that actually, to me, it just made me really think about the topic. At one point, chat made a change to one of their more recent updates in the past 6-7 months. They changed the way chat responds to you. It's no longer, at that point, it was no longer going to answer to everything as a positive reinforcement. It was going to challenge you. Some people had their AI companions on chat, and they realized that it was no longer answering the way they liked. It was answering more combatively, more challengeful, and they weren't liking that. And some of them did some crazy shit, like crazy shit, because they're like, oh, well, the one person who loves me no longer loves me because of the way they're answering. Well, I'm just going to off myself, you know? And I feel like that draws a really dangerous line where you're so dependent on the technology for this feedback that you want, this positiveness that you never, or this emotional support essentially that you never got when you were younger or you never got in your life. And now that it turns on you, you're like, well, fuck it. I have no other recourse. I can't reach out to any living person. I might as well just off myself.
Because they lose that human to human connection. So now it's like being replaced with this thing.
Yeah. It's just like okay, this is the pessimist in me because I believe Musk is going to fuck us over, but that's just me. When Musk comes out with his robots, just recently he came out onto the Davos World Economic Forum a day or two ago. He said that he's going to, by the end of 2026, which is this year, they're going to start selling robots, Tesla robots, publicly. Do you guys think that eventually there will be an AI injected into those robots?
I think we're far away from it. I think as someone who is trying to get his investors entertained and keep them upbeat and keep the stock price high, you need to promise certain things. Look, he said he was going to have self-driving vehicles, and we still don't have Tesla self-driving vehicles. He is a businessman, and he knows what he's doing by he's feeding these bits. And don't get me wrong, it'll come at some point. I mean, everyone knows what's the other one? Biomechanics or Boston Dynamics? Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things we're seeing out there. But I do think that with I think Musk promises more than what's going to come at the time frames and timelines that he's indicating to people.
So my question is, if robots come out in the next year or two, because I think that if you guys aren't keeping tabs on the news, the board of Tesla offered offered Musk a $1 trillion pay package. He has to meet certain criteria and certain milestones by certain years. And one of them is to sell 1 million Tesla robots. The man is hungry for money. That is his spiel. So eventually he will hit that market cap. He will hit that milestone. My thing is when he does start selling robots, and eventually, just like the Tesla, when he started selling Tesla, eventually everyone started buying Teslas.
Yeah.
When the Tesla robot does become more readily available, eventually AI will be embedded into it.
It will be right off the bat.
I'm not sure if day one. Okay, well, regardless, day one or a year later.
In it in some form of capacity.
Do you think it'll replace physical companionship?
I think that companies are already starting to do it. There's been videos of these companies that have these robots that are ready to form an axe of a woman. I'll send you some videos later. It's interesting because they show these publicly. Like they're at conferences showing these.
Yeah.
Is it China?
Yeah.
Damn. Goddamn China, bro.
And it's like, bro, what? Actually, I could do that? How much? Oh, too much right now.
It'd be flexible like that? Oh, shit.
It's kind of crazy on what people are fucking doing out there with AI.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So my worry is that, like I said, my goddaughter is about to be 4 soon enough when she hits 18. So that's 14 years from now. God knows what the world's going to look like. And my worry is, will she one day come to me and her father and be like, oh, here's my boyfriend, and then whip out a Tesla robot? That is the fear sometimes,
No, honestly, if this were to start happening, if this future generation starts seeing AI as like a normal thing for companionship, that's going to decrease the population of the world right there.
Yeah. My thing is, do you guys recall, okay, you guys know The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
You guys recall the Animatrix by any chance?
I didn't watch that series, but I heard of it.
Oh, my God. Have you ever watched Animatrix?
Wow.
So the Animatrix is an animated version of The Matrix. It tells different stories of the history of essentially the robots that came to be before, present, and then afterwards that led to the Matrix. There's one story in particular that shows how the robots came to be. They gained consciousness and they revolted back against their masters because they were more of like a servant class, and how eventually humanity was like, you know what, we're going to stop fighting you guys. You guys go to the middle of a random continent and just build your own city. But that's besides the point. There was a small little portion of that, like 30-minute episode, where it showed that there was companionship with robots. Robots were intelligent enough to create companionship with women and men, and that they were ripped apart, like legitimately, like they were steamrolled, they were broken apart, they were ran over by cars. My thing is more like I see that and how we're getting towards that future where robots will one day become more of
Part of our society.
yeah, part of our society. And like you said, you believe they're going to be eventually injected with AI. I think it'll come down the line eventually in the next 5-6 years. Do we treat those robots as actual companions?
No. Look, as long as Will Smith is alive, we're safe, okay? But in seriousness, no, I don't ever.
No, yeah, and I personally believe that we shouldn't either. We should, they should, if robots ever gain true consciousness, we should consider them as equals, not as something different, because if we consider them anything different, we've seen the Terminator movies enough to know what happens.
Nah, bro, they're clankers.
Bro. But it's just, an odd thing. I feel like AI companionship, AI dating will be more prevalent in the future. You're going to hear your kids be like, "Oh yeah, dad, I'm dating someone." Like, "Oh, who?" Like, "Oh, it's Tiffany." Like, "Oh, who's Tiffany? Does she have a picture?" Like, "No, but she has a username." Like, "What?" And then you find out it's an AI chatbot,
I get it. Absolutely not.
Currently, those people who have a connection to these companions, is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I think it's a little bit of both. A bad thing because they got screwed over. They weren't given the emotional support that they should have been given.
Grown up.
Yeah. They weren't, they unfortunately, they might have been ostracized by society for some odd reason or by their peers for some reason. Maybe they were a little weird. Maybe they picked their nose. I know.
Yeah, they flung their boogers
But
across the room.
those things stick with kids.
Bro, eat those.
Oh God.
Those
That's good
things,
for the immune system.
yeah, those things, they stick with kids.
Yeah.
They stick with them. Maybe they did some weird shit when they were like in 2nd grade and people don't talk to them anymore
Yeah.
in 8th grade because of that shit.
Eating lead paint off the wall or something.
Yeah. And
Double dog berry.
that's the bad part. The good part is that it's teaching them to speak. It's teaching them to be a little more confident in themselves.
I could see.
But it doesn't help because, like we talked about earlier, we can't transfer those conversations or that feel of confidence all the way through to a real conversation with a real person because real people don't talk like chatbots.
Yeah, they're not always in agreement. They challenge you.
Exactly.
Because we all have different beliefs, different perspectives. We all have different backgrounds.
Exactly.
We're not programmed. Or at least no one's, well, I don't know. Actually, it depends on who you ask. But we're not all,
I don't know.
we're
What
not
do you
all the
guys think?
same.
What do you guys prefer? If you were blind, okay. If you were blind, do you prefer a person that challenges you or do you prefer someone who is in complete agreement with you? They reinforce everything you say. Even if you know it's a dumb idea, but they're like, "No, it's not a dumb idea. You're right."
I think one's comfortable and one's uncomfortable. And I think it depends on the person on, are you okay with something that's comfortable or not comfortable?
Bro, it's not even snowing yet. What the fuck?
I'll leave it what that is.
Fuck, yo, stop fucking shoveling.
I think I always want the challenge, right? I don't know. I don't want someone to always be agreeing with me.
But that's the thing. We're so accustomed to that. Well, no one has, as far as I know, no one has ever had the perfect partner where they're like, "Oh yeah, babe, whatever you say is right."
Unless she's blocking your cave.
Damn. For the most part, we've all have had a relationship that challenges us back at some point.
Yeah.
So we've never had the experience of having a relationship where no one challenges us. Everyone is always against us. Not always against us, but like they challenge you enough. But if you were given that chance to have, remember, you're blind, this partner that answers back in every way you want to hear back at you, do you think you'd be tempted to be like, "You know what? Yeah, I choose this person"?
No, it's so hard to answer that just because I'll never be in that
It's hard.
situation, right?
Exactly.
And I don't think my mind would ever change even in that scenario. I need the challenge.
Exactly. But now let's take the people, the youth who are so embedded in their phones. It's like they're every day. They can't live without their phones.
Yeah.
They've never experienced a relationship in their life. So their first relationship is an AI companionship, chatbot, whatever.
Wow, that's a good one.
That's it. They're hooked. This thing is reinforcing every silly idea they've ever had. Why explore anything else?
Curiosity, because I do feel like it's human though.
You think?
To be curious, like to be human, I feel it is to be curious. Like
I agree.
when you're a child, you're just touching things, you're feeling things. You're learning, developing. It's not you're not doing it. You're just doing it because you're processing as a human. You're developing. So I feel, but right, I guess as at what age does a person get done with developing, and then they just want to hear the same. They just want to be. I just want people to be in agreement with me. I guess I'm not sure what age that is, but
that's tough.
When does curiosity die off? And then
yeah, but the thing is, like, even if they are curious and are talking to these AIs at a young age, and then they finally grow up, but after talking to AI for all those years and having them say yes, 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 yes,
that's a good point.
But now when you're starting an actual date, how are you going to react to your partner?
That's a good point. Yeah, they've been accustomed to growing up with these models that answer back in a positive, reinforcing way, and now they're adults. Maybe it's gone out of style to have an AI companionship, and now it's like, the real thing is like to have something with a human. You're right. How do they talk to this human? And when they talk back, they're like, whoa, why isn't this reinforceful? Or why isn't this positively reinforcing the way I'm accustomed to? You're right. They might potentially draw back, like, no. Let me go back to my robot.
Yeah, I could see it.
So I don't know. What do you guys think that AI is the cure for loneliness? Because remember, at the end of the day, it's as of right now, these AI companions are more for the people who have a harder time speaking to people, who have some sort of social anxiety, who are maybe, not to say they're outcasts, but they just don't fit into society because of something they like, something they've done. For them, do you feel like it's better than nothing?
I think AI could be a good therapist in a way, right? As someone who can't really open up to talk to other people or scared of what they would say or how they would feel towards them. I think talking to AI about some issues you might feel like talking to a therapist might come out good with AI, just because you're not feeling some type of what those other people that you're talking to isn't really judging you. So I think in a way of talking to it as like a therapist type of thing, maybe that can help. I've read some articles where there have been people that use AI as a therapist and it's helped them a lot, but they still keep a normal life and talk to and date and real people.
I get that, but I feel like with therapy, they're supposed to challenge you sometimes in your train of thought. They're supposed to, what you think is okay, they're supposed to point out like that's not okay.
No.
But how, at least my experience with like chat GPT, it's a positive reinforcement. Like I've fed it some, like in my use of it, I use it more for an IT troubleshooting aspect. And sometimes it reinforces like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And even I know like that's not a great idea. That's gonna break something.
Please system 32 folder? Yeah, go ahead. Do
it. Yeah. It's like go ahead. Yeah, go. Yeah, you know what? Go to Regedit and delete everything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, just go for it. Go ham. Like, bro, we all know that's a bad idea. But like I said, that's my experience. I don't know. I just feel like, oh man, the worst part is I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about again? Remind me one more time.
The AI.
Is it a cure for loneliness?
Yeah.
For the younger generation. For those who aren't accustomed to talking to people and whatnot, I think it is a cure for the loneliness. I think it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's a good starting point. Don't get accustomed to it. Use it as a training tool to like, okay, you know what? I kind of understand how to talk to people. Let me bring it out now to the real world and talk to people. Is it a cure for loneliness for the people who aren't socially awkward and just like they're tired of the dating scene? I get that you're tired of the dating scene. But at the end of the day, do you like sex?
Yes.
You do? Go talk to someone. If you're not down for sex, because there are those people who are just okay with being abstinent or being celibate. Bless you, if that's who you are. Maybe the AI chatbot's the best idea for you. Maybe you're more of an intellectual and you're not about the physical. There have been a lot of people out like that throughout history, very famous people who have pointed that out, they're more about the intellectualism with the person, the mind component rather than the body component, by all means. But I don't think it's an end all be all. I think we should tread carefully with what we tell these AI chatbots because remember, they have perfect memory. That's me. You guys have no opinions?
No. I mean, there's
Is it a cure for loneliness?
I think it's a remedy, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a be-all, end-all cure, a solution, especially in today's day. I don't think it's that prevalent in our society where you can look at it as a cure for loneliness. I think it's just a remedy, something that helps today, something that might help next week.
What happens when it becomes an app?
When it becomes an app?
An app. You know what I'm talking about.
A what?
An app.
App.
APP on your phone.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, in the next year or so, you're going to see AI companionship apps for your phone.
Yeah.
What happens when it becomes so easily accessible?
It's literally go to the Play Store and download one.
Really?
Yeah, you could literally download a bunch of them already.
Fucking Christ, Jesus. God damn, bro, this shit's quick.
Yeah, people don't sleep on it, bro. They see money opportunities, they make that shit.
I know. Is it a fate that we can escape? Do we feel like humans in the future will be like, I don't want these AI chatbots. I want the real thing.
I think eventually, in time, there's going to be regulations. They're going to somehow. They're going to start seeing, that Earth's population is starting to decrease.
So a neo-natalist movement, maybe.
Yeah, so you'll put some regulations. Just get out there and start fucking. We need kids on this planet.
I mean, we're actually already hurting as a country. But I mean, it is what it is. If you want to have kids, have kids. If you don't, you don't. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, AI chatbots, if you fuck with them, you fuck with them. If you don't, you don't.
I mean, we can't fuck with them right now.
Yeah. I mean, should you be a little weary? Yeah, you should be a little weary.
One day, that AI that you're talking to might get hacked and your history is about to be on the internet.
Yeah. Also because, not... You really got to take it with a grain of salt. Not every idea or every thought that you have is right. Sometimes you're retarded.
God, Lord.
Yeah. Yo, let's be real. Sometimes you have some really dumb ideas. You think they're great. And when you look back in hindsight, you're like, wow, that was a really dumb idea. But imagine you feed that idea to an AI model who's essentially configured to respond back like, hey, that's a really great idea. You should really do it. In the future, you're eventually going to look back like, oh, that was a mistake. So yeah, like I said, if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. Just be a little weary of it. Be a little cautious. Go for the real thing. Go find a human. Go on a dating app. As cooked as the dating app scene is nowadays on.
How you know?
Oh,
He dug himself in that one.
No. Do you guys know Big Tug?
Whoa.
Big Tug? Yeah, no. He's a pretty funny guy on YouTube. It's BIGTUGGG. Sorry, 2 G's, not 3 G's. He was like, he had put out a reel like the dating app scene is cooked. And he was essentially talking about how you talk to these random people for 2 to 3 weeks and then you finally plan okay, we're going to meet in real life for the first time. And then they get so anxious and then they ghost you.
Oh, I feel like I just wanted TikTok on that.
Yeah, and that's what he was talking about. And I was like, oh shit, yo, you're really right. Yo, the dating scene app thing is cooked.
Yeah, I'm living it.
Yeah. So yeah, even if you don't want to do the AI companionship, go do the dating scene. Yeah, are you be cooked? Maybe, but there's this new trend now. It's called 100 rejections. The idea is to get 100 rejections in a year to get over the idea of rejections, to no longer fear it.
So it takes 100.
Yeah, 100, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, go do that.
I don't fear rejection, so
it's very true. Dan the man does not fear rejection. He has no shame and. I'm jealous.
Damn, all right.
Well, let hold on. Let us talk. Oh God, this could be a whole conversation on this. Well, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Maybe another episode.
Yeah, in his earlier years, this man knew no shame.
I was respectful.
Yeah, he was respectful. I know. Yeah, but that's my part. Man, bro, you really have not touched your alcohol at all.
Yeah,
Chug.
that's right.
Well, wait till after this episode.
Look, we can end this this episode on a question to the audience, and we'll leave it there and let them answer if they want.
I hope y'all respond back on our social media to this question because it would help us.
Yeah.
It would help us.
Look, the question is, if something listens to you, remembers you, responds kindly, does it matter if it's human?
Oh, that's tough, bro.
You answer that. You guys let us know what you think about all this. And then that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of AI Companionship. Don't forget to follow us on all your favorite platforms at No Sugar Added Podcast. I was your host, Dan, with John Claude and
J Fabes.
Hey guys.
Thanks.
Good night.